Ladies and gentlemen, KDU IRC 2015 is an event which requires great effort, extensive pre-planning and organization. The crowning success that we witness here today wouldn't have been achieved if not for the valuable guidance and leadership provided by our Vice Chancellor. Therefore, it is with great pleasure that I now invite Major General Milinda Piris, the Vice Chancellor of General Sir John Kothawala Defence University, to introduce you to the conference and formally welcome the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Distinguished members of the audience, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure for me as the Vice Chancellor of the General Sir John Kothawala Defence University to deliver the welcome address and the introductory address of the KDU International Research Conference 2015. First, I am greatly honored and pleased to welcome Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, Honorable Minister of Justice, who graciously accepted our invitation despite his extremely busy schedule to be the chief guest and the keynote speaker at this international research conference. Honorable Sir, we are glad that we were able to find one of the most appropriate personalities in Sri Lanka, a true professional known for his credentials as an eminent legal expert and a seasoned parliamentarian, best known for his honesty and integrity, to address this august gathering on this theme, inculcating professionalism for national development. Next, I warmly welcome the most distinguished invitees, Mr. BMUD Basnayaka, Secretary Defense and Chairman of the Board of Management of KDU, Mr. DMRB Disanayaka, Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Mrs. Kamalini De Silva, Secretary to the Ministry of Justice, the Chief of Defence Staff, Air Marshal Kolitha Gunatilaka, Commander of the Army, Lieutenant General Krishanta De Silva, Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Ravindra Vijay Gunratna, Commander of the Sri Lanka Air Force, Air Marshal Gagan Bulat Sinhala, Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, Mr. S. Hettiarachi, and the other secretaries of other ministries, Your Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, senior officers, General Tan Sri Dao, Vice Chancellor, National Defence University, Malaysia, Lieutenant General Chowdhury Hassan, Commandant, National Defence College, Bangladesh, Vice Chancellors of our fellow universities, Professor Rohan Gunratna, renowned expert in security studies, other distinguished scholars and eminent personalities, especially those representing our friendly countries such as Ambassador, retired Mr. Sohail Amin, President, Islamabad Policy Research Institute, Pakistan, Rear Admiral William C. McQuillan, Director, U.S. Navy Strategy and Policy Division, Pentagon, USA, Dr. Paul Kapoor, Center for International Security and Cooperation, Stanford University, United States, Major General R.P.S. Bauduria, Senior Director in Staff, National Defence College, India, Dr. N. Satyamurthy, Director, Observer Research Foundation, India, Major General Mohammad Naim Ashraf, National Defence University, Pakistan, and Colonel Mohammad Mukhtar, Maldivian National Defence Force, who will be addressing the Defence Plenary Session, and other distinguished guests. I also warmly welcome distinguished professors and senior academics from Germany, Pakistan, UK, USA, and Sri Lanka, who will be chairing and addressing other plenary sessions, along with all other foreign dignitaries and scholars present here today. Let me also welcome senior professors and academics of Kothawala Defence University and all the presenters and participants whose contribution will be crucial for the success of this Research Conference. Finally, I would like to welcome all the media personnel present here and thank them in advance for a comprehensive coverage for this nationally important event. Ladies and gentlemen, the desire and the need of the contemporary Sri Lanka is to reach new heights in its national development through a holistic approach, and the country has realized the importance of maintaining a steady economic growth in achieving this goal. The strategy envisioned for achieving the same, it is industrial expansion with increased foreign investments and collaborations, which will generate a large number of new employment opportunities in the country. In this backdrop, the theme of our conference, Inculcating Professionalism for National Development, becomes extremely pertinent because a professional workforce is an essential prerequisite to achieve success in any sphere of work, and it is particularly so when we interact with the international entrepreneurs, companies, organizations, and when we are engaged in competitive business in the world. The more professional we are, the better would be the chances for success and victory over others. Ladies and gentlemen, we in the armed forces in Sri Lanka experienced the value of professionalism when we were able to successfully conclude the humanitarian operations through the professional approach adopted by the security forces. And since then, we have been doing our best to inculcate professionalism in the personnel we train to take over the responsibility of national security of the country. And I'm glad to mention that today we are at KDU have been able to extend our expertise to train natives as well as foreign youths with special focus on enhancing skills and inculcating attitudes that would pave the way for professionalism in their future careers in diverse fields. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that the national development of a country largely depends on the degree to which that country would facilitate the growth of professionalism in its workforce, encompassing even those engaged in so-called blue-collar jobs, which requires manual labor. In this sense, the term professionalism needs to be understood in a broader perspective and not in the restrictive sense that refers to the expertise in a few careers traditionally identified as professionals, such as medicine, engineering, law, management, and so on. Why I say so is mainly because one's contribution to the national development of a country will depend on how well one does one's job and not on what job one does. So the nation should give the utmost priority for inculcating professionalism in its workforce through a concerted effort which involves necessary mechanisms, especially in the domain of education. And it is the knowledge, attitudes, skills developed in individuals through formal, non-formal, and informal education that would be the base for professionalism. We do have to identify the principles and ideals to be upheld in various professions, to inculcate them in those we groom for those professions, to produce men and women who love their professions and their service for their clients. It is in this respect that the responsibility on part of the tertiary education system is paramount. KDU as a state university has very clearly identified this responsibility, and it is committed to the task of bridging the gap between the need and the availability of a professional workforce or human resources to adequately support the national development effort of the country. And it is our humble belief that in doing so, KDU exerts a positive influence on other institutions in the country as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the most humble pleasure in mentioning on this occasion that we have been able to bring about positive change at KDU by first ensuring professionalism among our staff, which we thought was essential to produce graduates geared to achieve professionalism in their careers. So during the last few years, KDU was able to attract some of the best academics, professionals, administrative officers, and clerical and other supporting staff, giving priority for the need for professionalism in each job in this university. And we did so by vetting them through rigorous testing and interview procedures. The result was an overall growth in the professional outlook of the institution, which enabled us to attract increasingly larger number of students, both local and foreign, for our degree programs each year. So KDU could be considered as a microcosm where professionalism is used for its development, thereby sharing the national development effort of the country as well. Professionalism cannot be inculcated through the mere provision of an academic qualification. We do need to develop the overall personality of an undergraduate by concentrating on improving an array of character traits such as discipline, positive attitudes, to learning and work, and sound communication and presentation skills, flair for research, desire for seeking new knowledge, and more importantly, honesty and integrity. KDU attempts to inculcate these in its students through diverse programs such as all kinds of sports activities and competitions, social functions, club activities, syndicate presentations, research studies, military training for officer cadets, and appropriate industrial training for day scholars and officer cadets, to name a few. We strongly believe that such initiative, together with well-planned and well-implemented curricula that provide high-quality learning experience of international standard, would pave the way for our products to easily achieve professionalism when they are exposed to the world of work. Ladies and gentlemen, it is heartening to note on this occasion that the feedback we receive on the professional approach of our first batch of medical graduates serving in their internship in various hospitals is extremely encouraging. And we are confidently looking forward to seeing the fruits of what we planned today. The large number of students reading for diverse degrees in our 9 faculties will soon be making their way into their respective professional fields. And we are quite confident that they could certainly make their alma mater proud. Wherever in the world they would be destined to serve. Of course, the officer cadets we produce have been of the highest professional standards, shouldering the tri-service responsibilities in national security and national development. So, ladies and gentlemen, our commitment to professionalism and national development through higher education has been steady and consistent. And this annual research conference itself is a major contribution we make towards the same. The objective is to lead the way in research and provide opportunities for researchers in diverse fields of specialization to showcase their progressive and insightful experiments and research and to sharpen their professional capacities. Finally, let me once again welcome all the dignitaries, intellectuals, and participants, both local and foreign, to this International Research Conference, and wish that its deliberations would be highly productive in terms of individual as well as institutional accomplishments in knowledge generation and dissemination. And let me conclude by wishing that this two-day international research conference would be a fruitful and memorable one for all presenters and participants. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now have the honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Honorable Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, the Minister of Justice in Sri Lanka. Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa, the current Minister of Justice and a Member of Parliament for Colombo District and also a President's Counsel, is a renowned lawyer whose intellect and eloquence have laid the foundation for an illustrious political career. He was a member of the 13th and the 14th Parliaments of Sri Lanka, and he served as a Minister of State Banking Development from 2005 to 2006. Born on 16th of March 1959, Mr. Rajapaksa hails from a family in southern Sri Lanka. He commenced his career as a banker and resigned after a period of 5 years to heed the call of his instincts and entered the legal profession, in which he rose quickly to great heights. He holds a degree of law from University of Colombo and has been practicing in the field of law since 1984. At the same time, he served as an examiner for Faculty of Law, University of Colombo from 1984 to 1991. He has indeed reached great heights in the field of law within a short span of time, and numerous awards he has won bear testimony for his remarkable contribution to the field, one of which is the award Outstanding Young Person in the Field of Legal Affairs he received in 1998. He also won the Gandhian Peace Award in 2011. He was appointed as the President's Counsel in 2001 at the comparatively young age of 42, and he was the youngest ever person to obtain this prestigious recognition in Sri Lanka. While engaged in legal practice, Dr. Rajapaksa has held a series of responsible public officers such as Chairman of the Rent Board of Review, Chairman of Sri Lanka Press Council, Vice President of the World Association of Press Council, Director National Film Corporation, Director Sri Lanka Rupani Corporation, Managing Director Associated Newspaper Ceylon, that is Lake House, Panel Chairman to inquire into the allegations of misconduct against attorneys at law, Chairman of Disciplinary Committee to inquire into the charges of doping against athletes. What may be the most remarkable attribute of Dr. Rajapaksa is his steadfast quest for knowledge. He earned a PhD from University of Colombo in 2014 for his thesis titled The Efficacy of the Safeguards for Functional and Constitutional Democracy under the Executive Presidency, 1978 Constitution. An enthusiastic learner, Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa has also been awarded a PhD by the University of Kelaniya for his thesis titled A Comparative Analysis of the Concept of Buddhist Rightness with Modern Administration of Justice. Dr. Rajapaksa has become the only member of parliament with 2 doctorates after late Dr. N.M. Pereira. He has also obtained master's and MPhil degrees from the University of Sri Jawadanapura. Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa's political career and record in anti-corruption activism has been equally star-studded. He first represented the Parliament in 2004 and served as the Minister of Banking Affairs and as the Minister of State Banking Development for a short period. However, he resigned from this ministerial post in April 2006 on a policy matter. Elected as the chairman of COPE in July 2006, he presented the first report in January 2007, which led to serious controversies both locally and overseas. Since then, he was recognized as a fearless campaigner against corruption in the public sector, and the AFP news agency captioned him as a parliamentarian's main whistleblower. In 2007, he was bestowed with the prestigious award titled Sri Lanka of the Year, LMD Media Services, in recognition of his services. He was once again recognized for his outstanding professional capacity in 2013 with an Apex Award given by the Organization of Associations of Sri Lanka, dedicated to recognize top professionals in the country. In addition, Dr. Rajapaksa has also been conferred with the honorary titles Dharmaniti Visharada Shasana Vibhushana and Deshabhimani Sri Lanka Janaranjana by the Asgiriya chapter of Shamapali Nikaya and Amarpura Nikaya respectively. In 2007, he was re-elected to Parliament and he became the President of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka in 2012. He was appointed as a Minister of Justice in January 2015 and was entrusted with the same responsibility when he returned to the Parliament in the recent general elections. Congratulations, sir. Dr. Rajapaksa is respected as a politician whose voice is always present inside and the outside of Parliament, especially with regard to the matters pertaining to justice. Considered as a symbol of professionalism in modern Sri Lankan politics, Dr. Rajapaksa is undoubtedly the most apt person to address you at this KDU IRC 2015, themed Inculcating Professionalism for National Development. Over to you, sir.